Alright, so I've got Saskia rebuilt. And I've got 3 slots left. So let's just go through it. Alright, so why am I building Saskia? Because I want a deck of these colors. I want a black, green, red, white deck. What does she give me? She gives me the ability to punch 2 people in the face at the same time. Maybe I should change that window. Let's see. There's that. Eliminate the glare? Yeah, eliminate some of the glare. Okay, anyway. So, she's vigilant and hasty. She's 3/4. She comes into play, I choose somebody. I automatically make an enemy. So I come into play and I name somebody, and they won't like it. Because they know it's going to happen. Whenever a creature I control smacks somebody else, they get smacked too. So they're not going to like it. So I need to be careful about when I cast Saskia and name somebody. I need to make sure that I'm in a position where I can withstand the counter assault that's probably coming at me. There she is. Can you stand up, Saskia? That's, there we go. Okay, so I've got 3 slots open. Not really, because I've already got the cards. So Arachnogenesis. Arachnogenesis is a 2 mana, colorless, 1 green, so 3 total. Instantly create 1/2 spiders with reach, 1/2 spider tokens with reach, for every creature that's attacking you. And then creatures that are not spiders deal no damage to combat this turn. So it's a fog that gives me tokens. This slot is for... I ordered a Phyrexian Arena. Not Phyrexian Arena, Phyrexian Altar. I don't know if I really want it. As we go through, tell me if you think Phyrexian Altar is better than Ashnod's Altar. Phyrexian Altar costs 3, it's an artifact. You can sacrifice a creature and you get 1 mana of any color. 1. Ashnod's Altar is similar. You spend 3 for the artifact, but you sacrifice a creature and get 2 colorless. So you either get 1 colored or 2 colorless. And I might want the colorless more in this deck. Phyrexian Altar is more for Corvald when I had that. And this is going to be for Clever Concealment. Clever Concealment, 2 colors, white, or you can convoke it, and instantly all your creatures phase out. So this is a token build. Having the creatures phase out is much better than exiling them, because I don't get my tokens back. So those 3 slots are not free. I just don't have the cards yet. I've got them on order. Let's look at the mana base. Okay, 2 swamps, 2 forests, 2 mountains, 2 plains, blah. Pretty basic. Fountain board. I can sacrifice a token to a card if I've got nothing better to do with the token or the mana. I can also pay 3 life, 3 and 1 life. Pay 3 life. 3 mana, 1 life, and to get a 1/1 blue fish that I can sacrifice to draw a card. Or I can spend 4 and crit it. This sounds like a bad investment. 4 for 1 treasure token, 4 mana for 1 token that you can later sacrifice 1 mana. I don't know if I like that. So we'll see about Fountain board. High market. Add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool, or sacrifice creature and save it from being exiled. You have my hello. Add 1 colorless mana, or green tap regenerated creature if it's not being exiled and just being destroyed. Voraz Stronghold. This is one of my favorite bullshit lands. Oh, I love Voraz Stronghold. Add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool, or put target creature card from graveyard on top of your library. So if your graveyard is being exiled and you can't do anything about it, if this is open and available, at least you can pull one of those creatures out of the graveyard, put it back on top of the library so you can cast it and reuse it again. I can fucking glare. Maybe if I turn this light on, will that help? Oh yeah, that helps a lot. Okay. Huh. I have to get smart about this. Ancient Tomb. Add 2 colorless mana to mana pool and take 2 damage. Not really sure if I want to keep this in here. I don't have a lot of life gain. In fact, my life gain is minimal. So it accelerates me, but it hurts me. In some decks, it's not a problem. In this deck, it might be a problem. Gaia's Cradle. Oh yes. Add green to your mana pool for every creature you control. So once you start hitting, 3 or more creatures, this sucker really turns on and does some cool things. Enables some groovy shit. And it's beautiful. That Mark Zug artwork. Bayou, Taiga. I don't have it, so I own one of each dual land. I own a second Taiga, and I own a second tropical island. This is the only Bayou I own. I don't have another good place for it, so I thought I'd just shove in Saskia. I would really like to get a Savannah, because even though she can have 6 dual lands, Badland, Scrubland, and Plateau, she doesn't need them as much as the ones with green. The ones with green, what they allow me to do is find them with Nature's Lore 3 visits. So that's one of the reasons they're there. And she's 4 colors, so getting the colors can be a bitch sometimes. You have my Cradle of Growth. It eliminates any problem I have with getting green. Hammerheim, just because I like it. Add red to your mana pool, or remove all land walking, even though there's not a lot of land walk anymore. It's kind of nice to see. Sometimes my opponents do play not really older cards, but I mean, Cube, he's got a deck with Chatterfang, and Chatterfang has Forest Walk. So this should take away the Forest Walk, so I can't be hit by Chatterfang. I can't think of any other land walkers they've really printed over the last few years. I mean, Chatterfang's about it. Land walk is like regeneration. It's just something they kind of quit doing. Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, eliminates any problem I have with eating black, even though black is by far the least important color in the deck, in so much as the number of black cards. The number of cards I have it's mostly green, and then white, and then drops down to red, and then black is in number 4 position. Black is Quasheri. Cabal Coffers, only good with Urborg in this deck. If I don't have Urborg, this is pretty useless. Exotic Orchard, it's just so pretty. Command Tower, it's just so printed in oblivion. Gateway Plaza, comes into play tapped, but okay, so I could run City Brass, but every time I tap it, I get hurt. This comes into play tapped, and I have to pay a mana, but after that, it's just on and active, and it doesn't hurt me, and it provides any of her colors. Opal Palace, I have to spend 1 in order to get color out of it. I don't have that many humans in the deck. I don't have that many other soldiers in the deck. So this, I'm thinking Pathfinder, never mind. But anyway, if I cast her the second time, third time, so she'll come into play bigger, tougher, stronger, faster. Pathfinder, that's what I was just thinking of. Comes to play tapped. It's basically comes into play tapped command tower. That's really what it does in this deck, because I don't have a lot of other humans. I don't think I have any other soldiers. I'm looking at the deck list, and I have 1, 2, 2. I have 2 other humans in the deck. So, not gonna do much. So if I try them, I want to get Rafine's Tower. Rafine's Tower is still kind of expensive. It's 20 euros for a foil one. Don't really want to spend that, but at some point maybe I'll find one in a trade and I could pick it up. This one was available out of the old Reaper King build, and it fits her colors. The other ones I have for Reaper King are all produced blue, except the Absent one. The Absent one, Edith the Triumph, that went to Carador because he didn't have one and he needs one. Alright, fetch one. Okay, fetch land and shock land pairs. So there's the white green, red white, black green, black white, black red, green red, and that's it. That's it for the mana base. 38 lands. Let's look at the deck proper. Okay, Soul Ring, yeah, that's pretty simple. Arcane Signet, yeah, that's pretty mindless. Felwar Stone, it's just cool. I appreciate that. I don't like the artwork where the guy is holding the rock in his hands. I don't like that. I like this one and the original Dark version. The original Dark version that I own is in Kenrith. Chromatic Lantern, the beautiful, shiny anime version. My daughter loves it. Conduit of Worlds. I've got 6 fetch lands in the deck. So this allows me to replay them and get more lands. And in a pinch, of course, the choose non-land permanent in your graveyard. If you've not cast a spell and you don't plan to cast any other spells, you can cast 1 permanent out of your graveyard. I've used that a few times, and it's a useful enough ability that it's nice having it laying around ready to go. Obviously, the 1 spell restriction puts a damper on things, but sometimes you don't have anything else to cast, so you might as well do something. Helm of Possession. It's a token deck now. I've gone back to tokens. So I started Saskia tokens, thinking I would go wide and attack with them. What actually happened is she wanted to win with Perforos. She's like, no, I don't want you attacking with tokens. I want you to play Perforos and kill people that way. And it worked really well. But that's not what I wanted to do. So I took out all the token stuff, and I put in big creatures. And so then she said, I just want to win by playing Defense of the Heart and some fucked up 2-creature combo. Otherwise you're playing 1 or 2 big dumb creatures a turn. Fuck off. Okay, Saskia, fine. You're not really cooperating with me here. So I went back to tokens and Perforos with some other elements, some ways of going wide and attacking. Just, I'll see how it works. Sarkin Vol, he's always been at the deck for to give my creatures haste. Yeah, he gives them +1/+1 too, but giving haste is the most important. Second is stealing a creature for 1 turn, so I can use it. And then this put 5/4/4 drag. I don't give a shit about that. I've never used his ultimate. I don't care about it. I only care about these 2. It'd be nice if he had something actually useful down there, but he doesn't. Elspeth Tyrell. Okay, there's some life gain. Giving life for each creature control. So if I have like 10, 12 tokens, creatures, because I also can create treasure tokens, I can gain a lot of life. And then Ancient Tomb doesn't hurt me so much. Or I can put 3 soldier 1/1 white soldier creature tokens on the battlefield, which is pretty cool. Or I can blow up everything except for lands and tokens, which is sometimes really cool. Elspeth, Sun's Champion. The cute little mouse version. Oh, she's so cute. She's just a little mouse. Again, create 3 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. She doesn't want to do it. She wants to do it. Okay, so I guess she grew up and decided she likes soldiers. She doesn't want to destroy anything, though. She wants to give me life. Destroy a creature's power 4 or greater. Yeah. Or, creatures go get +2/+2 and a flying. I would actually use that. So, all of the Elspeth abilities are relevant. Only 2 of the Sarkin Vol abilities are relevant. Well, actually, these are creature tokens. I need to broaden my horizons and change my thinking, because putting 5/4/4 dragon tokens into play, 5 doubling season, or knowing the procession, that can be kind of cool, because then I would get 10 4/4 dragon creature tokens with flying. And Sarkin Vol, you just became more useful. Alright, creatures. So I've got Balin the Haymaker. My happy little bunny with his red chili, shove it up your nose sideways, staff of death. Tap 2 and tap token control. Add 1 mana of any color. Sometimes useful. Tap 3, untap token control, draw a card. Very useful. Tap 4 and tap token control. He gets 3 counters, and he gets trample until end of turn. So, even if it's not my turn, at the end of the turn of the opponent preceding me, if I've got a bunch of tokens, normally I tap them to draw cards. But I could tap them to make him big. In fact, the genie in one game, he said, Balin should be a 20/20 now if you've been using it properly. And I said, Genie, if you've been paying attention, I've been drawing cards like mad. I've not been worried about making Balin bigger. I've been worried about getting more cards. Jet Bear. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave him in or not. And here comes the sun. Here comes the glare. How do I... There we go. Okay. So, creatures I control get +1/+1 in vigilance if I have 3 or more creatures. If I have 6 or more, they get another +1/+0 in trample. If I have 9 or more, they get a total +3/+0, double strike, trample, and vigilance. So he could be really good. I'm curious to see if he works as well as I think he will. Let me show the other side. I like this side better. This side, it's the same thing, but he's letting the dogs out. I don't like that one as much. I think it's kind of cool that he's relaxing with a little kitty cat. Look at that little kitty cat. Fucking glare. Okay, Aurelia the War Leader. The secondary idea when I put in the big dumb creatures, I also put in things to give me multiple attacks. So I'm going to keep just Aurelia. I could keep Anzac the Quake Mole. He's kind of mana intensive. He's only an 8/4. Doesn't have any other kind of invasion. In fact, he's not supposed to invade. He needs to be blocked. So I'm going to try Aurelia in this. She comes down, flying vigilance haste. When she attacks the first time, untap all creatures control, and they get an additional combat phase. So I'll see if that works. Beladros Witherboom. Okay, Witherboom here. Every upkeep, all of them. I get a 1/1 black and green pest. When it dies, I get a life. Yeah. Pay 10 life. Untap all land you control. I found that to be highly useful. That is cool, especially in a game where you start with 40 life. He is kind of high to cast, and he is kind of weak for such a high casting cost, but untap all your lands, yeah. Nadir's Nightblade. She's cool. She doesn't care what kind of token leaves. She doesn't care why it leaves. All she cares about is that she gets to hurt somebody and give me life for each one. And there's been multiple games where somebody has killed somebody else because somebody get down to about 5 or 8 life. And some dude has Nadir's Nightblade and a bunch of treasure tokens. So all they have to do is sacrifice the treasures and they kill somebody because of Nadir. And for that reason, she's highly useful in the deck. Okay, Pitiless Plunderer. Whenever another creature I control dies and doesn't care if it's token or not, all he cares about if it's another creature, I get a treasure. Chatterfang and Pitiless Plunderer, I can machine gun the entire table. So, Chatterfang, sacrifice a squirrel, target creature gets +X, neg-X until end turn. Pitiless Plunderer says, hey, creature died, have a treasure. Chatterfang says, hey, you have a treasure, have a squirrel. So I can use the treasure to sacrifice the squirrel to give another creature or the same creature +X, neg-X until end turn. And then they just do and machine gun everybody. So he's the A gunner, he's the gunner, tack. And my opponents have no creatures. Yay, bullshit combo. Grave Titan, not sure if I want him. In fact, I've been advised that I should put Dryad of the Elysian Grove in this build, and I have to say I agree. I can play an additional land each turn, which is good. Lands I control every basic land type, which is really good with the number of lands I have that produce colorless mana. So instead of producing colorless, I can produce the colors I need. So I need to put him in somehow. I haven't decided how yet. Maybe I should take out Grave Titan. Grave Titan does give me tokens. He doesn't give me very many, but he gives them to me reliably. On entering the battlefield or attacking, I get two black zombie creature tokens. Because he is death in form and function. Calculating Lich. I thought he would be good in this build. He was good in the last tokens build. He helped bring down people's life to plus. whenever a creature attacks, it doesn't have to be my creatures. If my opponents start attacking each other, he helps them out. So he's pretty damn cool. 6 for a 5/5 menace. That's not bad either. That's not bad. If he didn't have this, whenever a creature attacks from your opponents, they lose 1 life, I could see him being maybe a rare to an uncommon. I could see him, because of the power creep, being an uncommon if he didn't have that. If he was just a 6 mana 5/5 and menace, I could see that as an uncommon these days, because they're doing bullshit. Okay, Chitty Chitty Chatterfang, the cute version. Look at that little one going booga 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 in the background. Booga booga booga. My daughter loves that guy. Oh, this one too. This one's funny. Right over his right shoulder. Oh, I love Chatterfang. So 3 for a 3/3 Forest Walker. If one or more tokens are created, instead I get that many plus that many squirrel tokens. So I get double tokens. I can sacrifice tokens and kill things. Eternal Witness. Pretty simple. She comes into play. I get something back out of my graveyard. Toski. Toski is another card, kind of like Grave Titan, where I'm not sure if I want him in the deck. It depends on how often I really can go wide and have my creatures hit my opponents. That's really what's going to decide if he stays or not. Because if my opponents are often having enough creatures to block all my tokens, or wiping out my tokens, and I'm not able to deal combat damage to them and draw cards, then he becomes less interesting, because I took the shadow out. I took the shadow creatures out. I took Douthie Embrace, which gives a creature shadow out. So I don't have a lot of ways of getting creatures through. I don't have a lot of flying creatures. I don't have a lot of evasive creatures. So I'm not sure if Tosi's going to stay. She's going to stay, though. Oh, yes. Her and that illustrious Wanderglyph, definitely. 5, every upkeep, I get a 1/1 sapling. Once I have the City's Blessing, I need to... Yeah, so I only get the City's Blessing, the +2/+2 if she's in play. So I was starting to go on a wild tangent thinking I would always have the plus, but she's what gives it to them, so if she's dead, they don't get it. Deranged Hermit comes into play, get 4 squirrels. As long as he's in play, all squirrels get +1/+1. Of course, he has Echo, so he's going to die. And I didn't put in much of a Resurrection Suite in this deck. I don't have a lot of ways to resurrect anything that costs as much as he does. I've got Aura Stronghold. So it's a question of if I'd bring him back. Maybe there's a dude, forget the name offhand. Sacrifice 2 creatures, bring a creature from graveyard. Maybe I need to put him in here. I need to think broadly. Maybe I should put that in there so I can always get back to Deranged Hermit. Zopendril, Hunger Dominance, or I just play the deck and I don't worry about it. He comes into play, I get the squirrels, he dies, and I just keep going. And I don't worry about bringing him back. So, one of my theories of deck building is I always try to have recursion. I always try to have ways of bringing things back out of the graveyard. If I let that go, and I just play him for what he is, and I rely on the other token generators to generate more tokens, maybe that's a better direction. So that's something I'm thinking of now. Zopendril, Hunger Dominus. Yeah, I'll leave him in here. So this dude costs 7, 4/6 Reacher at the beginning of every combat. On my turn, my opponent's turn, my creatures get double power, so with Aurelia, first attack, my creatures double the power and toughness. So if I have 2/2 tokens, they become 4/4s. And then Aurelia says, hey, you want a second combat? And if I say, yes, please, then I untap everything and attack again, and those tokens are now 4/4s, which is a pretty significant threat. And then this Friction green, sack 2 of the creatures, and he becomes indestructible. Avenger Zendikar, 7, when he comes into play, you get a 0/1 plant for every land I have. Yeah, him coming in and out would be pretty good, because then I could get more plants. The landfall is going to create memory issues, though. I've seen it with the genie when he plays this in his who is it? Lord Windgrace deck. So he'll have a bunch of tokens, dice to represent the plants, and he'll have one die to represent how many counters they have on them. So this guy should he should work here. What I want is a sufficient number of native token generators. Creatures. Cheddarfang is not a native token generator. He's a doubler. This is a native token generator in that when I cast him, or when he comes into play, I get the tokens. If I have too many of those effects, and not enough ancillary effects like Zopandrel, then I just have a bunch of tokens, and I'm really relying on Perforos. And those tokens have to be creatures, because he doesn't care about treasures. What he cares about is creatures entering the battlefield under my control, and he hurts my opponents for every creature. There's one game where I did Tempt with Vengeance, and 2 of my opponents were going to be tempted and put tokens into play too. And then, so Tempt with Vengeance, 1 red, X. You put X, 1/1 red devil tokens into play. Your opponents can do the same. If every opponent does the same, you get that many devils. And when I told them, you know I've got Perforos out, so if each of you also gets, I think it was 6 at the time, if each of you also gets 6 devils each, I get another 12. So that's another 24 points. I think both of you would be dead. And like, oh, well, okay, I guess I'm not tempted after all. Well, they were tempted, but they didn't take the offer. Terror of the Peaks. So this should be pretty good with the token deck. Token comes into play, and if the plants won't be interesting because the plants will have 0. So that's kind of a non-bow. Unless I have one of my very few universal buffs in play. Then the plants will come into play big, and he can deal damage. So whenever the creature enters battlefield under my control, he deals damage equal to the creature's power to whatever the hell I feel like. Urbrass Hidden, because haste is good. Having my opponent's creatures come into play tapped is good, so they can't block my creatures that are going to smash them in the face. Auric Champion. In one of the very first games I played with Saskia, back when I had the original token version, I got up to something like 140 life because of her. No, my opponents couldn't kill her. It was great. I love it. Protection for black and red. Never another creature. You may, yeah. I'm not going to may. I'm going to gain life. Unless somebody has a tainted remedy, then I'll may and gain life. Lustrous Wandergriff. It's basically a Tendershoot Dryad for artifacts. Creates colorless gnomes. Gives my other artifact creatures +2/+2 as long as the city's blessing. Not many other artifact creatures in this deck. In fact, I don't think there's any at all. Sun Titan, because I love Sun Titan. So, when it comes to player attacks, I get to put a permanent with CMC 3 or less into play. And even if that's just a fetch land, that's still value, that's still recursion. Elish Norn. There we go. So, okay. So, she's in play, and I play a bunch of, say bring out Avenger of Zendikar. Those plants be 2/2. So if I have 8 lands, for example, I play Avenger, I've got 8 shocks. I can shock 8 things. With Terror of the Peaks. So I would have to have Elish Norn, Terror of the Peaks, and then play Avengers Zendikar. That's a lot of mana. Alright, let's take a pause and I'll do part 2. Alright, so let's finish this up. Dead creatures, let's get to enchantments, instants, sorceries. So Sterling Grove. I don't have that many enchantments. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so I do have that many enchantments. And with this, they all get Shroud, and I can sacrifice it and go find another enchantment, shuffle my library, and put it on top. Bitter Blossom. I've been told this doesn't really belong here. I begged it to differ. It's great early game, get it out, start creating the tokens, start generating a board presence. Yeah, it cost me life, but if I get the Auric Champion out, then it's a net 0. So, Fairy comes into play, lose 1 life. Auric Champion says, hey, creature can play, gain 1 life. And, I just like the art. I just like looking at it. I like the Rebecca Gay original too, but this one's pretty cool. Yes, Brailsing. He does good work with fairies. Okay, Impact Tremors. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under control, Impact Tremors deals 1 damage to every opponent. Bang! Suck it. Got Bombardment. Sacrifice creature. Deal 1 damage to any target. Okay, I'm casting Wrath of God. I've got 15 token creatures. Yeah, I'm going to kill them all. I'll kill them myself and hurt you for casting Wrath of God. Warrior's Call. Creatures you control get +1/+1, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, deals 1 damage to each opponent. Is Impact Tremors each opponent? Yep, each opponent. Good. So hurt everybody and make my dudes bigger. Pernicious Deed, because I need a wipe, and Sun Titan can get this back. X, sack it, destroy each artifact, creature, and enchantment with CMC X or less. So if it doesn't do it for 0, I can destroy all tokens, including mine. But sometimes you have to do what you have to do. Or shards. Whenever a creature comes, this is a priority target. My opponents do not like ore shards, and they do not like it in token decks. Which is understandable. I wouldn't like seeing it across the board from me in a token deck either, unless I was playing NMR. If I was playing NMR, wouldn't care. Wouldn't really care at all. Whenever a creature comes into play under my control, I may destroy an artifact or enchantment so I can hold my opponents hostage because it's a may. I don't have to do it. Martyr's Cause. Maybe I should take this out for the Dryad of the Elysian Grove. 2 and a white, sacrifice a creature, prevent all damage to a creature or player from 1 source. I still want to try it out. I still want to see if it works. Defense of the Heart, yes. This is the all-star card from the previous build of Saskia. So at the beginning of my upkeep, if an opponent has 3 or more creatures, sack it, search for up to 2 creature cards, throw them on the battlefield, and shuffle. So what does it let me do? Here's what it lets me do. It lets me do things like, if I have a good number of tokens, I could play Find Aurelia, and I doubt I'd want Avengers Zendikar, and Zopandrel. So, bang, they both come into play. I'll get 2 attacks until Aurelia dies, and my creatures get bigger every attack. Or, bang, I just go find Pitiless Plunderer and Chatterfang. Or, bang, I find Perforos, God of the Forge, and Avengers Zendikar. So, it lets me find all kinds of fucked up 2 creature combos. That's what it lets me do. Not as bad as when I had Maha, its Feathers Knight, and Elishnorn. Not as bad as that. Because Maha, all your opponent's creatures have base toughness of 1. Elishnorn, all your creatures your opponent's control get -2, -2, so wipes the board right away, bang. So I took out Maha, I'm going to give it to Karavek. So I think it's still good, it's still really good in this deck, but it lost a bit of its bite. Still, I expect my opponents to destroy it as soon as they can, which typically they don't. It's kind of funny, I play it. Cube especially knows nothing good is going to happen once it resolves, but they only have 1 turn to deal with it, and often they don't. So it's their own fault for not dealing with it. That's the way I look at it. Smothering Tithe. Whenever an opponent draws a card, if they don't pay 2, I get a treasure. I get richer. I get rich from these bitches. During the Predation, if you create 1 token, you create 2 instead. Dictate of Erebos. Flash. Whenever a creature controlled dies, each opponent sacrifices a creature. Yeah, baby. Excuse me. Doubling Season. If an effector put 1 or more tokens into play under control, you get twice as many instead. If an effector place 1 or more counters under permanent control, places twice as many on the permanents. So, in this deck, this is good for, the second part is good for my Planeswalkers, but it's also good for Avengers Zendikar. So when I do play a land, the plants will get +2/+2. They'll get 2 1/1 tokens, or 1/1 counters. So they'll build up twice as fast in their power and toughness. So, if I have Doubling Season, play Avengers Zendikar. Let's say I have 6 plants. I play a fetch land. They all get +2/+2. I crack the fetch land, and they'll get +2/+2 again. So they'd be 4 5s in 1 turn. And if I have Urabrask the Hidden or Sark and Vol, I can attack with them. Here they come, the plants of death. Predation, time to play Predation. Sacrifice a land, go find Guy's Cradle. Cabal Coffers, Urberg to Yawgmoth, you have my Hollow, or whatever fucked up land you need, put it in play. Untapped. Then shuffle. Artifact Mutation, blow up an artifact, get some tokens. I'd like to have a foil one of these, but those are expensive. Alright, so one of the things about the first token build is I had a lot of token generating cards. More sorcery speed. And now I'm trying to balance between having enough viable token creation and buffs, things that boost the deck, things that boost the creatures. So Grand Crescendo does double duty. I can spend white, and my creatures, doesn't say non-token, just all my creatures gain indestructible until end of turn, and then if whatever X I pay, I create that many tokens at instant speed. So instead of increasing devotion, which for 5 gives me 5 1/1 human tokens, and then I can flash it back and get 5 more, no, 10 I think it is. I'm just going with the instants and the creatures this time. A couple of sorceries. I do have a couple of sorceries that give me tokens, but I'm wanting to do it more either with a permanent, so it repeats, as with Tendershoot Dryad. So every turn I get a token. Witherboom, every turn I get a token. Or I can get amass tokens at the end of the opponent's turn preceding me, so I don't cast a sorcery, and then I've got nothing, no mana to respond with until I can untap again. Maybe I should put a Seedborn Muse in here. Not too much value in doing so, but it's a great card. I love Seedborn Muse. It's an idea. Okay, Beast Within, Stroke of Midnight, Generous Gift. They all do kind of the same thing. The difference is this one cannot hit a land. These two give you well, if I destroy something of mine to get a token, which is desperation, but could happen. These two give the person whose thing I'm destroying a 3/3 token. This gives them a 1/1 token. These can hit lands, this cannot. That's pretty much the only difference. That one's green, these are white. They all cost the same, and they all run instantly. Enough about that. March of the Multitudes. Convoke. Create X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens with lifelink. Oh, I forgot they have lifelink. Oh yeah. Forgot about that. Huh. Ooh yeah, baby. Tempt with Vengeance. Here it is. So red X. Put X 1/1 red elemental creature tokens haste into play. Each opponent can do the same number. For each player does, you get that many more. Aha. So you can see how this could be bad with Perforos. So let's say I just do 5. I get 5 tokens. Each of my opponents takes 10 points of damage. And if any of them decide to be tempted, then I get 5 more. So that would be another 10 points of damage with Perforos in play. It adds up real fast. Nature's Lore, go find a forest, put it in play. 3 visits, go find a forest, put it in play. Tempt with bunnies. Draw a card and get a 1/1 white bunny rabbit token. Then, of course, each opponent can do the same thing. For each opponent does, you get another 1/1 white bunny rabbit and a card. Tempt with good. Last time I cast this, it was great. I got 4 lands. So I tempted with Discovery. And there was really no discussion. Everybody needed a land. Cube said, okay, I'm going to go get my Cabal coffers now. Leo, he went in and got some land. And then, who else is playing with us? Evgeny. Evgeny went, everybody got a land. So I got 4 lands for 4. It was beautiful. There was no, don't do it. It was just, everybody, I'm doing it. I don't care what happens. Mog Infestation. In this deck, this is double duty. Either I can destroy all creatures somebody controls, wiping out their board, not targeting. Yes, giving them 2 1/1 red goblins for each creature that gets destroyed. But typically 1/1 red goblins, if they're not running a goblin deck, aren't as scary as like Massacre Girl, Visigoth at 9/9, son of a bitch from Duskmorn, Necroskitter, and the other bullshit that Cube has in that black deck. So, giving, and Maha its Feathers Knight, giving him a bunch of goblins isn't as scary as those things. Or, I could target myself. And I used to think it said sacrifice, because I hadn't read the card in a long time, and I just thought I remembered what it did, but I didn't remember what it did correctly. So if I have Perforos in play, if I have a bunch of creatures, I could target myself, destroy all my creatures, and get that many times 2 1/1 red goblins, and each one will trigger Perforos. So let's say I have 6 creatures. Bang, I have 12 creatures. That's 24 points of damage. If I just have War Leader's Call, that's 12 points of damage. That hurts. Ezuri's Predation. I'm not really sure if I want this. I felt like I wanted some big splashy thing in the deck, but I don't know if I should run this. Maybe I should run Second Harvest. Second Harvest is 2 colors, green, instantly double the number of tokens you control for each type. I think it's each type. Let me take a look right quick. Let's see. Second Harvest. No, I don't want you to know where I am. MTG. For each token you control, put a token on the battlefield. So, maybe I should do Second Harvest instead of this. This costs 8 at sorcery speed. I'm not sure if I want to have such a big sorcery, even though it gives me a bunch of... By the time I have 8 mana, my opponents should each have about 4-5 creatures, minimum. So if 3 of them, 4 creatures, I would get 12, 4 green beasts, and they would each fight a different one of those creatures. Do I care about that, really? Do I care about this? Because something with the deck, let me just take a look. How many things do I have with more than 2 color pips? And by 2, I mean 2 of the same. So how many do I have with more than 2 of the same color pips? Because that, I've run into trouble with that. I've run into trouble badly with that before in a 3 or more color deck, is getting that third. Now, given that it's green, and I've got so many ways to find green, and I can't cast it until, like turn 6 or 7 if I've got good ramp, it shouldn't be a problem. But what if it is a problem? What if it bites me on the ass? So, do I want this? I mean, it does create tokens. Those tokens do fight creatures, but by the time this happens, a lot of those creatures are going to be bigger than 4/4. Cube's brother, Slinger, he runs a dinosaur deck. So if I do this, most of the dinosaurs are going to be bigger than these creatures anyway and kill them. At 8 mana, even trying to use it, it's not really even that good of a board wipe. Now, against certain decks, against Cube's token deck, if he's got like a dozen tokens, I get a dozen 4/4s, and my 4/4s would probably kill his 2/2s, 3/3s, depending on what else he has. But then I've got the other cards. I've got March of the Multitudes. I've got Grand Crescendo. So, is this what I want to do? What do you think? Tell me. Let me know if that's what I want to do. Anyway, that's Saskia. What do you think?